All right, Don, thanks very much. We can see some movement there at the front doors. And as we mentioned, the pallbearers consisting of former President Carter's Secret Service detail. You can see them emerging now from the hospital building. Again, let's just pause and watch these events as they play out in real time. And there we've seen the flag-draped coffin of former President Jimmy Carter, the 39th President of the United States, who died on Sunday at the age of 100, the only U.S. president to ever hail from the state of Georgia, receiving a state funeral befitting a former president. And this is the beginning of a series of events that will see former President Carter's casket brought eventually to the Carter Center in Atlanta for a chance for the public to come and pay their respects. He will then be transported to Washington, D.C., where he will lie in state at the U.S. Capitol building. There will be a memorial service at the National Cathedral in Washington on Thursday. And then finally, he will be brought back to Georgia, where he will be buried next to his wife, the late Rosalind Carter, on the grounds of the Carter family home. And again, those pallbearers that we've been watching, members of the former president's Secret Service detail, Steve Miller, William Bush, Richard Kerr, Alex Parker, Jack Chip Coffey, Nick Steen, Don Witham, Alejandro Mantica, and Daniel Reich. Again, all members of the former president's Secret Service detail, who he said were more than just his security team. They really became members of the Carter family, sharing in very personal, touching moments, traveling and protecting the president as he crossed the globe, doing his humanitarian work, and in the years after he left the White House. These were very special people, important people in the former president's life, and that is why he wanted them to be given this honor today.
Yeah, and I'm sure they feel honored to be able to do this. So, you know, rural South Georgia has always been home for President Carter. It's where he was born, of course. It's where he kept going back to for years after his years in the Navy, after his years as governor, after presidency. You know, so it was really important for President Carter to be able to do this and go this route and lie in repose where he is. He wanted to give the people a chance to see him in the places that were most important to him. And man, it is so touching to see how many people have come out to line the streets on this cold Saturday morning just to watch as this motorcade comes by. So we want to get back to Atlanta News First, Madeline Montgomery.
Madeline, you're there in front of Phoebe Sumter Medical Center. Give us a sense of what it's like from your perspective, where you are. All right, we'll check in with Madeline. We'll check in with Madeline in just a moment as we continue to watch these live pictures from Americus, Georgia, the Phoebe Sumter Medical Center. We have just watched as former President Jimmy Carter's casket was put into the back of the hearse, and we are now about to watch a procession as the president's remains are brought from Americus to Plains, of course, the president's hometown, where he was born, where he lived most of his life, and where he died last Sunday at the age of 100. His family, his big extended family is there, his children, his grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and so this is a very significant moment, and again, the beginning of what will be a series of events honoring the life of the 39th president.